This is Covert Radio. We got some breaking news here. Hope everybody had a happy Memorial Day. I don't know. Maybe you don't celebrate it. I don't know. You know, over the years, I have become leery of holidays that the government requires you celebrate. You know what I mean? I've become pretty leery of those. You know, I don't, if you can ever step back and really just look at all of the delusions and the illusions and the lies that have been pulled over our eyes, it's pretty startling. You know, they're protecting your freedom. Huh? What? Would you say? They're protecting your freedom. They're what? They're doing what? Ain't doing a good job at it, in my opinion. Now, if you would say, they're over there trying to secure more land for Halliburton. Yeah, I believe that. That's believable. We celebrating that? Because protecting your freedom is a bunch of horse shit. It's like my neighbor, which I live in the hood straight up. He has a Ukrainian. He drives like a 98, 97, maybe it's a 2000, what's it called? A PT Cruiser. It literally looks like somebody just walked around it and kicked every door, every fender in. I don't think I've ever seen him with a shirt on. He's older, but when I mean older, I'm saying like late 60s, early 70s. I don't even know if he owns any shirts. And, he's just every, there's that NPC shirt or meme that it's like, I support the new thing. Like, that's him. That's him. I mean, he's had the Ukraine flag's been hanging on his dilapidated little house there for probably since 2 days after what Putin bad, you know what I mean? 2 days after that, he tacked up his Ukrainian flag. That means I support America. Whatever. This isn't about that. I have no notes on this. I don't want to get into non sequitur stuff because I know some of you new people don't understand my method. This is talk radio format. I don't really have an agenda. I just cover stuff, and I don't really I don't have any interest in misleading you. I have no interest in lying to you. I sell nothing. I'm sponsored by nobody. And you're going to, I've always said this over the years. If you can tell me any other way than, actually, I tell my wife this a lot. Actually, this just happened today. We were talking about my granddaughter, and there's a whole situation, and I'm just like, I kind of ranted and raved on our way to pick her up, and the reason we're picking her up, and I begged her. I said, you tell me that it's any other way than exactly what I've just said. I want you to tell me how it's any different than what I just said. I'm begging you to, because I want to be like you are. I want to be like you are. I want to be happy. I want to be unconditionally loving. I just want to accept people for who they are. But I can't do that. It's not in me. It's not woven in me. And I cannot help that I see what I see, and I see it how I see it, And I'm not apologizing for explaining to you or anybody. This is how I see it. And if you can tell me or show me or prove to me that it's any other way than exactly how I say it is, I want to be proven wrong. Change Covert Radio. Change me. For the sake of my soul, save me. Save me from my ills. Save me from my misinformation and my misjudgments. If you can. I don't want to see things how I see them. You know, and I'll just give you, again, a prime example. This is hours old. Shooting at a Florida beach. And by the way, by the time I actually got some clips together, the intro music, some things like that, this headline changed in real time. But the new headline that we're looking at right now says, shooting at a Florida beach boardwalk. 9 victims hurt, including a 1-year-old. Here's what I love, and this is where we're going to start. An altercation between 2 groups led to the gunfire that sent people running for cover along the crowded beach on Memorial Day, police said. Now, 2 groups. Let's see here. Now, I want all of you listening to my voice, I want you to really put your thinking cap on. And without showing you any video, without showing you any clips, without showing you any race demographics, without showing anything, I want you to tell me what 2 groups were in a reckless, satanic, godless, evil, unabated gunfight on a holiday weekend, beach, first real day of celebrating, coming back out and going swimming, and everybody's supposed to be having fun. Families are supposed to be having fun on the beach. So you tell me what 2 groups of people would do this. Go ahead. Now, I want you to you're going to have to rack your brains on this one. Here, while you're doing that, let's see what, this is USA Today. Let's see if they give any more information. 9 injured, including children, in a Memorial Day shooting near the beach in Hollywood, Florida. There is a suspect detained. 9 people were injured Monday evening when gunfire erupted along a beach boardwalk in Hollywood, Florida, authorities said, as people ran for cover near a crowded beach on a boardwalk on Memorial Day. Nine people hurt, including 6 adults and 3 children. Here we go. Preliminary investigations revealed that an altercation between 2 groups resulted in gunfire. An altercation between 2 groups resulted in gunfire. So back to your task at hand. You tell me what you envision with these 2 groups. It's always miraculous to me how when you see that's a dog whistle for me anymore. When they don't give any names, when they don't tell you any description of any suspects, And when they're vaguely describing anything, the dog whistle is black men and women, or specifically black men, boys, teenagers, what have you. Because history and proof shows in the last 5 or so years, 8 years, that when it is a white person, a white group, they are immediately doxxed. They are just like this kid. I have a big video coming up. I just haven't really got to do it yet. But I mean, I have all the clips and everything I need. I just got to sit down and do it. The kid, and I played this clip in another video, who walked onto a school bus, 15 years old, him, one of his buddies that's like 13, and I think a 12-year-old, they pushed their way onto a school bus of middle schoolers to execute a 12 or 13-year-old boy. So we're talking kids from the age of 12, 13, 14, 15, pushing their ways onto school buses to do an execution at point blank range. Masks on and everything. The 15-year-old is still at large. Yeah, I have all this coming up. The 15-year-old is still at large. A 15-year-old is still at large. And on top of that, the police will not give his name. They are giving his street name, which is K-Baby. K-Baby. Now, if this was a white kid, his family, his uncles, his aunts, his grandparents, any family businesses, any associates, any property, this would all be over every single, or if it was a white cop in a situation. Listen, communists have overthrown the country, and they are using the black race. And when they're done with you, which they're almost done with you, you're going to face consequences like you've never imagined could happen. Now, I'm going to tell you something even a little bit deeper. This isn't only my perception. This is put on my heart. This is God speaking to me. And I'll tell you how God works for Covert Radio and how God works in my life. I have such bone-crushing, hair-raising, spine-tingling synchronicities happen to me over and over and over and over again. Every day, every few days, maybe once or twice a week. It varies. But when God or the universe or whatever you want to call it, AIX, for the the archaics people that may subscribe to Covert Radio, the being that created this, that's who I'm talking about. The being that created this whatever it is. When there's synchronicities firing at all the systems. And, we're dealing, this is a spiritual war. I've told you guys this for 7 years. I said, whether you want to be in a war or not, it doesn't matter. Because if you don't actively participate in this, you are literally going to be a pawn of circumstance, or you're going to be used by somebody else's agenda. We're in a war. This is a war. There are other people who know this is a war. There are pastors. There are preachers. And this is how God works in my life. I'm going to play you something that's less than 12 hours old. It's only about a minute or so long. I want you to listen to this, okay? Hang on one second. Let me find it. Oh, is this it? I'm not sure. I think it is. Let me see. Hang on one sec. Okay, I think this is it. I just want you to listen to this. It's about a minute or so.
You've done right. God is going to supply your need. You've been haphazard, lackadaisical. You've been flippant. You've been contemptible. You're also going to eat the fruit of your doing, because we all reap what we sow. Woe unto the wicked. It shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given to him. The Hebrew says, shall be done to him. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy path. My God is...
I'm going to take this back, and I want you to really, really let it sink deeply in to you what this pastor is saying less than 12 or so hours ago.
Are their oppressors, and women, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
As for my people, this is God speaking. Children are their oppressors. And these oppressors are ruled over by women. What does that tell you? How do you not understand that this is a screaming indictment of the epidemic level of a fatherless black infrastructure in America that is literally turning into a genocidal war zone hour by hour by kids who have no guidance, who have no respect. God's people, and I'm talking to the righteous black people listening to my voice, who are also stricken in poverty, who also live in these neighborhoods. But it's spread out everywhere. There is only now pockets of safe zones where there isn't these demonic entities. And those will be infiltrated eventually as well. Where are the good Christian people? Black, white, red, yellow, but specifically the black ones. Your oppressors are the children who are fatherless because their rulers are women. My oppressors, your oppressors. How could this be any more of a clear indictment from Scripture? Tell me when I'm wrong. I'm listening, and I will read every comment. You tell me when I'm wrong, and tell me how wrong I have it.
As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy path. My God, has that ever been more true than now? Children are their oppressors. Look at the children. When I say children, I'm talking about teenagers and young people. The rioting, the pillaging, the stealing, the plundering, and these leaders, these black leaders in these democratic cities will not be critical of them. All they want to say is, well, they've been disenfranchised. That's why they do it. They don't look disenfranchised to me with the clothes they're wearing, and they all have a phone and they all got automobiles. I get tired of hearing how they have been disenfranchised. That's a lie straight out of hell. They are oppressors because they didn't have godly parents in their lives to teach them. Secondly, women rule over them.
How can it be any clearer? And I'm going to give you an example of this. This is, I swear to God, this is, I have no interest in lying to you. This is a 100% true story from about 3 or 4 days ago. Where my office is, I have a good view of the street. There, about 3 houses away from me, is a single mother. She's black, with 7 kids. I've never one time ever in probably 2 to 3 years, I've never seen an adult black male walk into that house. There are 7 kids. There are 3 girls and 4 boys. The youngest being about, I'd say 6, maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7 at the oldest. He's about 6, I'd say. The oldest, I'd say about 15. So they range in age from about 5 or 6 all the way up to about 15. The mother is home about 20% of the time. So there's never any adult supervision that I've ever seen. And it's gotten to the point now where my neighbor told me I was weed whacking, and I always blow off his sidewalk and everything because that's how I am. When I'm weed whacking or doing stuff like that and I'm kicking grass up everywhere, I will go, and this is me every week. I blow off, clearly I'm going to blow off the mess I made, but not only that, I go the extra mile and I blow off my neighbor's sidewalk and his little sidewalk up to his house. Well, it's a family. It's a mother and a dad and 3 little girls. And I also blow off about 6 cars on the street, just in case. I got some grass shrapnel on them. That's how I am. Because I would want somebody to do that if they got grass all over my car or my section of the sidewalk. So I'm doing this, whatever. And he comes out and he says, "Did you look at your truck?" And I said, "No, what do you mean?" He said, "You better look at your truck." And I said, "Why?" He said, because that little boy down there, I don't know if, because I have cameras all around my house. He's like, "I don't know if you got this on your cameras, but, I know you've seen what he's been doing." And I said, "Yeah, but I haven't seen him hit my truck. I've seen him hit yours. I've seen him hit Larry's. I've seen them hit the car behind them and the SUV behind them." And he said, "I tried to talk to the mother. You can't even approach her." So he said, "The last thing I told her, I said, fine, I'm going to tell you something. From here on out, the police will deal with it. F you, I'm done with you. I'm not going to try to talk to you to correct your kid. I'll let the police handle it from here on out." Because here's what this little 6-year-old, maybe 7-year-old boy is doing. Not only, and I have the proof of this. I have this on my security cameras. And I hate to say this, but I'm not going to say it, but when his sister is trying to corral him to their side of the block, I mean, he's 6 years old and he runs the street because the mother's never around. Him and his brothers are always running the street. And he tells his sister, suck my, you effing B, constantly. And I mean, he screams it after she'll keep, whatever his name is, Tamaria, get down here. No, get down here. You can't be this far away from the house. And he's, suck my D, you effing B. This is constant. He's 6 years old, maybe 7 years old. So him and his little brothers they share a bike. And I'd say the next one to him is maybe 8 or 9 years old. So the boys are pretty young. It's the girls that are the older ones. They do a thing called ghost riding. And what they'll do is they'll go to the end of the street, pedal real fast, and then the three, his brothers will be like, do it now, do it now, do it now, ghost ride it. Whoever's riding the bike at the time, normally it's the little 6, 7-year-old, he literally just launches the bike. And he's in the middle of the road, he's pedaling real hard, ghost ride, and then he just launches the bike in the middle of the street with parked cars up and down the street. Boom! Smashes into this car. Rides back up. Ghost ride. Launches the bike. Boom! Smashes. Breaks a tail light or broke the headlight of the I don't know what kind of car it is. It's like a black Volkswagen. The bike just goes wherever it wants. I guess that's what ghost riding is. You jump off the bike and just let it go wherever it wants to go. And I'm watching him, and I have it on camera, and I've watched him from my office. And I know he's aiming for certain people's cars. So I think to myself, take it to the mother. What is she going to do? Nothing. What are the police going to do? Well, probably nothing. So here we go. And I live in a microcosm. And I know that this is amplified after city, after neighborhood, town, neighborhood, city, town. There's these little kids everywhere. And my wife will get smart with them. And I keep reeling her in. I'm like, honey, I'm telling you, in 3 more years, 2 or 3 more years, these kids are going to have their hands on guns. And that's when your house gets shot up at 3 a.m. I'm going to show you one thing here. And this is the level that I'm talking about. This was within the last several hours, couple days, something like that.
Shocking moments on a CATS bus as a driver and a passenger get into a shootout. New video released today shows an argument escalated quickly into a hail of gunfire. Queen City News anchor Morgan Francis spoke exclusively with another passenger on that bus who came inches from being shot himself. Morgan, what a terrifying ordeal.
Oh, Brian, it really was. And Joshua Davis got a ride home in an Uber tonight because he's afraid to ride the bus after gunshots rang out around him. He has a wife and 2 kids. And as you'll see in this video, if not feet, inches from getting shot.
I was right there. You have no idea.
Last Thursday, Joshua Davis was just trying to get to work at the Charlotte Premium Outlets when this happened on the CATS bus he was riding. Davis hasn't seen the video. He said he doesn't have to. He was there and knows how close he came to potentially losing his life.
My instincts when I seen guns and I heard gunshots was to hit the force.
We now know the passenger, 22-year-old Omari Tobias, wanted to get off the bus before the next stop. The bus driver, David Fullard, declined that request.
I had a bad feeling.
Omari Tobias, 22 years old, went up to the bus driver and wanted to get off in between wherever they were and his actual stop. The bus driver declined, said, no, I can't do that, or I won't do that. And this 22-year-old took that to a level of disrespect that he was either going to kill the person, the bus driver, or be killed by the bus driver because he was told, no, I can't do that. Do you think this level of insanity or whatever, I don't know what you want to call it, do you think that this is a isolated mental illness? You know, I've been in crowds of people, maybe 5-10 people or so, and I start getting weird looks sometimes. I could be with some of my friends or whatever, but I'll start getting a weird look here and there. And my one friend, I won't mention names, but you know, I'll never forget this. This wasn't even that long ago, and this has happened 20 times in my life. My one buddy was like, dude, reel it in. And I'm like, oh, yeah. It's because we had to have this conversation about 10 years ago. So I know what reel it in means. Reel it in means I'm using too many big words. Reel it in means I'm somehow using words that are offending somebody to the point of anger because they don't understand what I'm saying. This has happened to me countless times. I'd say 10 to 20 times over 20 some years. Could you imagine if the bus driver was white? How deeper of a cut is that? Is that racism now? Or he won't drop me off because he racist? White supremacy won't drop me off my bus stop? Drop me off where I want? So you're willing to die for it? What is this called? Can somebody help me? Is this insecurity? Is this low IQ? Is this unintelligence? Is this what is it? What do you call this level of somebody told me no, so no, let's die. Everybody dies. And then you have the bus driver just firing. And I mean, he was trying to kill him.
You know what I'm saying? From the time that the young man got on the bus, you know what I'm saying? It's an eerie feeling. I can't really explain it.
Tobias got agitated and told the bus driver to touch him so he could claim self-defense. In the video, he's seen pulling out a gun, and that's when the two start shooting at each other. Davis hit the deck.
There was a young lady on the bus and she was saying, open the door, you know what I'm saying? So I was trying to pry the door open, you know what I'm saying? But of course, you can't do that. Button has to be pushed.
The driver continued shooting at the suspect with two other passengers ducking for cover.
It bothers me more and more every day, you know what I'm saying? Because I thank God that I'm here, you know what I'm saying, that I didn't get shot.
Tobias, who was shot, is in jail, and that driver also shot was fired from his job for bringing a gun to work.
Bus drivers are not supposed to carry firearms. I'm like, so what are we doing for them to be protected? Because bus drivers have already been harmed in the past.
Davis says every day is different, processing what happened.
Because I'm not the type of person that really displays a whole lot of emotion, I don't really know how.
Again, I mean, are we talking like, nah, I can't cry. No, I can't. Like, even lifting the chin, how he's doing, is just such a, like, nah, I'm strong. Nah, I can't do that. So, I mean, are you going to go postal one day or no, or what? Or, I mean, what is going on? What is going on? There is an entire army used by the communists and activated by the Zionists through the music to murder you, to murder you, and you, and you, and you, and you. And let me ask you something. What do you think is, listen, after this thing, my last video dealing with the Fed surrection, and really coming to the realization of really how smart these people really are with certain aspects of logic and strategy, especially military level strategy. Because again, this was pulled off with military precision that had a 3-minute window. We're talking weeks, if not months in the planning, and they had it so precisely down that they were within a 3-minute window. So I can't help but think, through the last 2020, 2021 or whatever, and the summers of not rioting and ripping down America's history and, and nobody being prosecuted and it's a free for all. When do you think that people are going to stop allowing this to happen? How much longer do you think that's going to be? And here's what's crazy. And I got one more clip for you, but I want to tell you something. I live in a sanctuary city, and what I do requires me sometimes to be out in the public a lot. So let me tell you something I've noticed just in the last, say, 8 months to a year. I'm starting to be able to identify immigrants before they even get within 5 or 10 feet of me. Because I already live in a racially split area for 100 miles, 60 to 100 miles. It is literally black people and white people. That is it. We share no other demographics. There may be a few of this, few of that, but it's only white and black people. And that's how it's been for a very, very long time. So, but here's what's happening. All these Nigerians that are coming in and, all these black South Americans, wherever they're from, even Africans, I'm starting to be able to distinguish them within 5 or 10 feet compared to a Native American, a Native Black American. And do you want to know how? It's as simple as this. When a black male comes walking up to me smiling with his hand out, wanting to shake my hand, or comes even smiling, walking up to me to raise his hands to say hello, I know every time this happens, I would put a $500 bill down on immigrant. I would make the bet between non-immigrant, Native Black American or immigrant, and I will put a $500 bill down every time that they're an immigrant. When they come up to me smiling or happy or with their hand out, or they put their hand up to wave, 99.999999% of the time they're an immigrant. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? And let me tell you something. When you complete whatever mission these Zionists and communists have you on, you will be dealt with by a public hand or by a militia hand, a militant hand, or the government's hand. I assure you, this is not going to go on much longer. And I think it's actually starting to kind of change, because I've been seeing a lot of prosecutions lately. I've been seeing a lot of things falling that have been somehow this illusion that it's going to last, or that these privileges are going to continue to last. It's all crumbling right in front of our eyes. Just it's amazing to watch. It's amazing to watch because people have had enough. And here's the problem. And this is for all the black people who don't understand politics. You've been replaced Do you understand that? The Democrats don't need you next year. They're bringing in 20,000 voters every day. Not every week, not every month. Every single day since Title 42 lifted, 15 to 20, if not more, 15,000 to 20,000 black immigrants are walking across the border. They're coming from all over the world, and they're being filtered through the southern borders. So, and I've said this for a long time, when they are granted amnesty or whatever they're going to be granted, they will get voter rights. The Democrats do not need the black caucus anymore. They don't need the black hive mind. And if you've noticed, all of a sudden, there's a lot of housing being taken away. The lists are getting a lot longer. There's a little bit less money going around. Who do you think is paying for 20,000 people's medical, food stamps, access? They get money for vehicles. They get business money from the SBA. They get vouchers. They get shit. None of us are eligible to get. The useless eater syndrome is about to be eradicated. I promise you. I want you to watch this real quick. Check this out.
A crime alert tonight. A BSO detective tasked with investigating sex crimes now finding himself on the other side of the law.
And he's accused of falsifying information and even threatening a victim. Local 10's Terrell Forney live now at BSO headquarters for the details for us. Terrell.
And this arrest especially concerning considering the types of crimes that this BSO deputy was investigated. Most of the people who reported crimes, he looked into sexual abuse allegations. Well, tonight, that detective himself is in jail here in Fort Lauderdale, and he's charged with 9 counts of official misconduct and 1 count of extortion.
Detective Demetrius Campbell is a 21-year veteran of BSO, investigating sensitive sex crimes with the Special Victims Unit. But the sworn deputy is accused of dropping the ball on multiple cases by allegedly lying about evidence and victim statements, even closing out sex crimes cases without a proper investigation. The situation came to light when a sexual battery victim called BSO to get a status update on her case. Campbell's supervisors then got involved after records revealed the case had been closed because the victim was uncooperative, something she adamantly denied. In another case, Detective Campbell, quote, reported that when making contact with the victim and her mother, she admitted to him that she lied and completely made everything up, crime unfounded. But after BSO's Public Corruption Unit reopened and re-interviewed that witness, an investigator says, I asked if she provided Detective Campbell with that statement, and she said no. And there are accusations of subtle threats against some victims. Campbell is accused of telling one woman, an illegal immigrant, quote, it doesn't make any sense to go any further with this case because nothing is going to come from it, and not to use this as a tool to get a U visa. With nearly 100 cases that were assigned to Campbell, Sheriff Gregory Toney is now issuing this statement that says, I expect all BSO employees to serve with virtuous character and integrity. Failure to fully investigate such serious crimes is reprehensible and downright disgraceful. The public can rest assured all unfounded SVU cases investigated by Campbell will be reopened and thoroughly reviewed.
And that number is 41. 41 cases that Campbell investigated and labeled unfounded. Those are the cases that are now being re-investigated. In the meantime, Campbell, again, here in jail. He is expected to appear before a judge.
Sex crime.
41 cases that they know of, and he's a 21-year veteran cop, whatever. How many of those years was he a detective? I don't know. I could find all this out. But let me tell you something that I noticed in the comment section here. This story's only a few days old, if that. I don't know. Do you know how much of this stuff shows up? I could talk about this stuff every day, multiple times a day. It's in my algorithm now. I don't know why. Because see, that's why I don't watch the first 48 anymore. Because it causes me to hate people. Hate people. I can't watch the first 48 because I lose all like hope for, I don't know. It's just not, it's, you know, it's almost like me and my wife have a joke. It'll start off and I'll be like, let's see here. Could this been a black male? You're racist. Oh, you know, this is what I was going to say about the comment section. You racist, Covert Radio. Yeah, watch the first 48. Watch the first 48. Anyway, again, tell me it's not exactly how I'm saying it is. Oh, that's a white supremacist talking point that blacks commit 60% of all the violent crime, but they only make up 14% of the population. That's the ADL says that is a white supremacy talking point and should be considered hate speech rhetoric. With everything that's going on with the FBI and that has been going on with the FBI, with Trump and Clinton and dossiers and, you know, this witch hunt and listen, I don't give two. See, I'm trying to quit cussing. I don't give a what the FBI crime statistics say. I don't care what the ADL says. I don't care what anybody says. Because you cannot believe any of it. You can only believe what you see and hear with your own eyes and ears. That's why you need firewalls. Because even at that, you can't believe everything. And I'm saying outside of the virtual realm, what you see and hear. Just like black women maybe need to find some level of a moral compass. Maybe black men have to stop procreating and take care of the kids they have. Maybe there should be some accountability. Maybe we're supposed to look the other way, that minorities come here, illegal immigrants come here, and within a year, they're opening businesses, they're riding in newer cars, like they're not bitching, complaining, moaning, calling people racist. They come here with nothing. They learn how to speak English, and they still surpass the majority of native black Americans. How is that fucking possible? Unless there's a bigger problem. There's no family structure. There's no respect. There's no consequences. And there's complete victimization that is ingested like Twinkies. I'm a victim. Here, let me unwrap this Twinkie. I'm a victim. Here, let me unwrap this Twinkie. I'm a victim. Yeah. Like this guy here. There are cops, BSO cops in this comment section, and they have inside knowledge about the, throwing up quotations, hiring practices when you become a detective. And guess what? For some people, it has nothing to do with merit. It has nothing to do with your work ethic. It has nothing to do if you earned it or not. But if you're black, you can be promoted to detective because of affirmative action. And here's what's also funny about this comment section. It's just it's fun to look at all the racists. Just, they're mockingbirds. They just keep repeating the same talking points. And here's the biggest talking point in this video through the comment section for all the black racists that are in there. So they pick this guy. You know every detective there does it. Oh, so they're going to pick the black man to make an example of. Oh, the black man's the scapegoat. Oh, so they pick the black detective to take the fall. He's the fall guy. You know, every detective there does this. Do you? Are they? You're so blinded by hate and racism that you can't fathom that this dude was in a job that he did not earn based on any level of merit, responsibility, or intelligence, that he simply walked into a position based on melanin. And then he floated as easily as he could with the lightest workload that he could possibly have by just saying, case closed, case closed. Victim said they made everything up. Really? So now they got to reinvestigate at least 41 of these cases to see exactly what this clown has done. Scooting along till I get my pension. Yeah. Are ya? Okay. Because guess what? It's all going to stop. I assure you. It's all going to stop. What do you think? People, like, I mean, I just don't understand what you think. Like, how much longer do you think this is going to be allowed to go on? Do you really think the gun owners in this country are just going to stand back much longer and just watch? Get the fuck out of here. Like, there's a serious problem. There's a serious problem. And when you have pastors calling you out, yeah. Maybe you really better start doing some introspective searching and seeing what the hell you've been doing and what's been done to you maybe. Because it's not going to be tolerated much longer. I got big videos coming up for you guys, so stay tuned. And by the way, please tell me how I got it so wrong. I'll read your comment, and as long as you're not a racist or a lunatic, I'll respond for the most part. I'm Covert Radio. This is fearlessly unapologetic talk radio. You guys take care. You have a good day.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. Mayday, mayday, mayday. All free citizens. Mayday, mayday, mayday. All that can hear. America.